just because we saw a bunch of bunnies when we were coming home. So I thought I would sketch some bunnies. Yesterday's sketch was chipmunks, if you missed it. Let me move it up a little. I wonder if I can move the camera like laterally. Is that what it's called? To this way. Okay, got my paper. I'm going to try to move the camera. I shouldn't do this on camera, but I did. Okay, zoom in a little bit. All right. I'm going to sketch some bunnies today. So let's get the foundation of those bunnies down. I want to do them in interesting patterns or shapes or positions or whatever it's called, silhouettes, because I feel like you always see a bunny and it's like this, right? Like, well, I'm just guessing, but like, I feel like every bunny I ever see, this is the silhouette. And I'm not here for that. I want some interesting stuff. Bunnies lead lives too. So let me get some shapes down. I was thinking about it. I think bunnies are basically like cylinders with like that get a little chubby on one end or actually skinny on one end. Both. Especially because, or they can bunch up, but the ones I want to do. Here we go. So sometimes to represent cylinders, I just do kind of this. It gives me a basic idea. Just run the circles up. We'll do a back leg. We'll have this kind of be the front. So it'll be a 3/4. This would be the top of the cylinder. This would be the bottom. It's kind of like a cutout of a cone. This would be the back leg. And you'd have like the foot here. This would be the, well, front to us, but still the bunny's back leg. And again, you have like the front and then the foot here. And so the reason I thought of this pose is because like then you have their little paws like hanging down on the front, like little dinosaur arms or like a kangaroo. And then I wanted him to be like really curious about what just happened over here. So maybe even we'll move his head a little bit more to the right. Here we go. Here's the little bunny. He's really curious. His whole body has shifted in this direction. And I think we'll just do him in profile. I think that'll be safest. I think it's still a big turn. And it's still visually interesting. But I get to do a bunny in profile. That's his back ear, his front ear. His head will come down like this. That's his neck. This is where his eyes will be. His bunny cheeks, and he'll have little whiskers coming out of here. Let's get his eye in. Rabbit's eyes are very much on the side of their head. We can draw his ears doing two different shapes. That might be fun to indicate that he's cocked one ear. So we'll have one ear pointing towards us to figure out where something is, because rabbits and a lot of mammals will use sound in order to 3D locate something. So yeah, we'll have this, his left ear turned towards this sound and his right ear turned towards us. I don't know if like it'll catch everybody's attention, but I think it's a good detail. So I want to do two today. I have not done two animals at one time before on Sketch-A-Day May. Not never in my life. Okay, let's get just his like little butt and tail in there. Yeah, that's his tail would be kind of more. Where's his back? Like here. Yeah, so his tail's long, so that his tail realistically could be there. If you don't know, I think it's always important. One piece of advice that I got given a lot that I think is great. We'll just kind of shape this a little bit. He has, Bunny's bottoms are white usually and a little bit fluffier, so we'll like separate out the belly area from the rest of the fur. That'll help us show which way his forward is. Okay. All right, I'm going to use an eraser. Gosh, what was I just talking about? Is you should draw through, like even if, for instance, here you can see his tail. Whoops. Oh, thanks, Oddfoot. You can see his tail is here. It starts, if this is his front line, then the opposite of that on this would be here. So his tail starts here. And I was trying to see if it would make it over here. And I just draw the back of the character as if he's see-through. You can always erase it, and it helps you stay accurate and see like spacing mistakes or if something looks weird that you're not seeing otherwise. So you'll see a lot, like a fence post or something. I'll go through the rabbit and it'll come out there and then it'll start here. And these will just not be on the same line. Mine's not. It's close, but it's not. And so you're supposed to instead draw straight through, and then it's definitely on the same line, and you just come back and erase that out from the interior. Yeah, advice that I was given early, and I was like, but I ended up following and really liking. Especially, I think, for sketches. Like, okay, so we have our first rabbit. I was thinking the second rabbit could be like here, sort of. They do this one where they're sitting, but they're, what is it? I'm sort of half crouched. Let me see if I can get it. So I guess this one let's do this one. We'll do his body and profile. Let's get the, what is this called? A column? The cylinder going. And I'll have him leaning forward. So I'll have his butt here to anchor him down. And those little arms will come out here. And they'll be leaning down. They'll be coming out down like that. Has his big leg muscle will be there. That'll be his paw. And then when they're sitting like this, I think their tail's sort of like that. Okay. So now I'm trying to figure out what these rabbits, so for a lot of my animals, I like to give them a human prop, often a hat, but doesn't have to be. I'm trying to figure out what would be a good prop. This guy got really big. Is that just also how big this guy is, but we can't see it? I don't think so. I think I messed my scale a little. There we go. No shame in erasing. All right. And I think let's have this guy, maybe he hears us. His friend over here, he doesn't know what's going on. But this rabbit, bring the snout. Big cheeks. You know, in Winnie the Pooh, is the rabbit like a grump? That's what I remember. Yeah, he's a little crooked. Should we give him little teeth? Nah. Most rabbits don't have that if they're eating a healthy. Give him little, whatever those are, whiskeys. All right, I'm gonna come in with an eraser, clean it up really quick, and then I'm gonna come in with a darker pencil and really like nail it down. I know I've been kind of doing that already. This guy's, his body probably wasn't too big because I've made his head gigantic compared to this guy. I'm thinking about just redoing it real fast. Once. I can't hear you. All right, I like that much better. Let's actually just one last adjustment, bring the snout up, make that neck. Ah, yeah, there's a rabbit. All right, I'm going to come in with a darker pencil. I like this combo of guys. rabbits. Okay. I should have switched pencils. I got lead. Okay, we'll do this one's ears first, just because they're very much unfinished. I like to shadow and try to follow the contour of the ear. I'm not always very good at it, but that's where I like to try to. And it also looks like hair, which is a lot of animals have hair in their ears. So it's two birds with one that's stoned. Sometimes I want to switch hands. You can, like, if that's really a struggle, sometimes I will flip it over so that I can do it in the same direction, just down instead of up, as I did this one. I do that a lot when I'm not on live. When I'm not on camera, I move my paper all over the place. I'm going to put it back. But on camera, I like to keep it as still as I can while still keeping everything in frame, because it makes editing easier, and I think it makes it easier for everybody to follow and see. But yeah, I'm always like, man, I wish my desk was a little bit bigger. I could move my paper more. And then I learned how to do it on digital. I guess if you use a tablet, it's really easy, right? You just pinch and turn, which I think a lot of people do use a tablet. But if you're on a computer, it can be a little bit more difficult. But most graphic software offers a way where you can just like hold one button and move the mouse or your pen, and it will spin the page. Which, yeah, and if you're not like familiar with that feature, you don't think about doing that, try it out. It's great. I genuinely think it's a like a magic trick, because it feels like I'm like, oh, I can't draw that. I can only draw it going in the opposite direction. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I can draw it. It's so easy. Okay, we're gonna give a little shadow. Let's let's do that. Kind of, yeah, just define it. Let's define this front arm first. I really like the shape of it. And we'll do the back arm. It comes back behind it. We can even shade it, shadow it. And then we're not seeing the front of it. We're seeing the inside. So he has little toe beans. Maybe we can even draw a tiny little nail. And they're kind of hinted at on this one. And then if we want to give the toes more definition, we can come in, shade just like where the toes would be casting shadows on the others. And not like for, in this instance, I'm not doing real shadows. I'm doing like, if my eyes were light, where would shadows be? Because I'm just trying to like separate the drawing into different layers. And so I do that on a lot of my drawings, whether or not it actually would make sense with the light source. And like, so for here, for instance, I don't know if you can see that the bud is supposed to be in front of the tail, but it's not like really clear. The tail's supposed to be coming out like the middle of where his bud is, and it's not really clear. So I'm just going to kind of come in and shade that area of the tail, and then really like darken the line of the butt in front of it. You know, I think it's partially also the shape. The tail kind of goes into the butt and the butt doesn't follow along the curve. So we'll kind of fix that too. Yeah, and I think now it more looks like the tail comes out of the butt. Okay. I think that's this rabbit more or less done. So we can move on to the next. There's something about this one's eye. I just don't trust him. What I sometimes do is, like, his eye is going to be a circle. That's just, I think eyes are all spheres, basically. So that's what they look like. But here we go. If we take that circle, and then before we shade it in or anything, we sort of give the eye a place to sit in the head. Let's try that. Why is he so angry? I know why. I did this shape here is like pointy. Now that's better. We could soften, maybe get like melancholy. But let's leave it turned. I think that's a good look. Okay. So we'll do the contour. Bring this part out, it's in front, so we'll darken it up. And then this is in front of the other ear, so we'll darken it up. And then why not make it match? We'll darken up this side too. What? Ah, okay. Looks like YouTube is like, we are done showing your stuff. No. Sometimes YouTube will throttle you know, what is it called? Streamers. Live stream. And that'll result in blur. It's just, maybe their networks are very busy today, and since the stream is not particularly popular tonight, it will throttle it. So I think I will get off, because I do, if I continue this, I kind of want it to be a higher quality recording, and I'm not otherwise recording. I'm relying on the stream. Well, I'm going to quickly kind of finish this off. Give it a little shadow. Get the tail in there. All right. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, I really like this. I think I would shrink this rabbit on the left a tiny bit, or make this one bigger, or even just shift them on the page a little bit, bring this one a little bit down and put this one a little bit back so that they're not on the same plane. That's probably the solution, so that this one's a little bit more forward. But
You know what I think? I think that the bunny on the left needs a more suede back.
yeah, so I don't know what suede is.
So like,
So there's two different ways the rabbits, mostly they look like this when they're sitting like this. And then some,
no, I was thinking like make like it curve and then make it look like
yeah, I know what you were saying. Okay. Yeah, so I kind of mixed between like what reality is and what you're saying, which is like the stylized version.
yeah,
But yeah, you're saying just do the stylized version.
yeah, then that'll take some
Yeah, a little bit. Actually, I kind of think the other way took more of Volkov. Here, I'll show you the other way. You see this one?
Yeah.
I'll show you the other way in its entirety. If you're here in the comments, please vote. What is your favorite? Kind of like that. Nah, kind of like this. Yeah, I think yours is... We'll do yours. Did you see it?
Yeah. Yeah, they're both good. I think both of these lines are better than normal.
Yeah. Whoops.
The quality is better.
Back to bad or back to good? All right. Pop, 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 ba-dum-bum. I'm drawing rabbits and I'm having a good time, and everybody here is having a good time. And if you're having a bad time, I'll draw you something cool. This rabbit ain't no fool. This rabbit, seriously, I don't know what happened. He is not messing around. Oh,
I like how your like little like doodle thingy has a 4 count break.
does it?
Yeah, this rabbit is no fool, and then you just go back to the regular 8 count.
Oh, yeah. That's just whatever, my brain. I for so many years, I just thought of different ways to combine like lines of lyrics into interesting chorus verse chorus type deals. And now I don't think about it at all. It's great. Now I probably always do exactly that one that I just did. I don't know why I feel like this guy's pretty good, but there's something about it. Now I've made him like a weird dog face rabbit. All right, back to regular. Get
I have an idea for the name
okay.
John and Knuckle.
It would be. Is there an H?
In Yoko?
No.
Yeah.
I don't know where. I don't. No one knows how to spell John. OHN. Okay, I lied. I know how to spell John. It's because there's 7 ways to spell it. Oh, I'll put it on the bottom. That doesn't need to be up here. And then people would be like, "Oh, you named them after like John Lennon and Yoko Ono," and you'd be like, "Who?" Someone just suggested it. So I've been seeing this giant circle I drew here. I don't know why. You can see sort of, I drew a big circle here. And I don't know why, but it's making me like, what kind of big circle could I put behind this rabbit that would make it is there a sign? Is this a Pepsi sign? And they're like in like an alleyway.
What's the camera?
Oh, camera's too big for a camera. Yeah, so I was thinking Halo. It's a little low for a Halo, but I think it could still be cool. Um, and then maybe it's not a thing. Maybe this is an abstract part of an otherwise.
Yeah,
Like,
I do like it. It's just they both have like circles coming out from around the head.
mm-hmm.
That don't reach the top of their ears.
No, I think that one has it on their head, and then this one has it on their front paws and their tail.
Yeah.
That gives you this line. What if, and like a tiny one on their eye? Okay, I like that. I think that balances it out. Man, see, I said draw the line straight through, and I did. But I don't know if you can see. I drew like when I was talking about being an alleyway, I kind of drew a line, but it's just like sloping off, like, whoa. When I need to draw a long straight line, I learned this on TikTok. I mean, YouTube. Um, I'll have to edit that out. You're supposed to pull it down towards yourself and look where you're going, not where you're coming from or what you're drawing on. No, I just went in the opposite direction. Didn't work for me. All right. Let's draw these cute versions. And then I might do more work on this. This is the first one so far that I've been like really into as a separate standalone piece. I've liked a lot of them and thought about it a little bit, but this one I'm like nearly 100% certain I'm going to turn into a full-on art piece. All right, let's get the cutes. One time I switched the paper like that. Right, this paper I just put underneath, and I got a comment. It was early when I never got no comments. I think it was like literally my second ever comment, and they said, "You didn't have to throw away the whole paper." Like, it wasn't that bad. And I thought that was so funny. Okay, let's get these cute ones down. We'll start with the rabbit head. Let's make them triangles. We'll start with triangles. We'll have the one looking right at us and the one looking off to the side. I'm trying to think, are they going to be like standing up or anything? Like, are they going to be human-y or just regular rabbits but cutified? I've already abandoned the triangle. I guess regular rabbits but cutified because I don't know how else to do it. How did this go? Yeah, must go.
Bugs Bunny.
Hmm?
Who draws Bugs Bunny?
My mind is drawing a blank. Is it? Well, Chuck Jones directed some of the really good ones. So Chuck Jones, at least sometimes.
I'm not Chuck Jones.
Yeah. I studied so much Chuck Jones. Where's this at? What is happening? Why does his body look like this? What did I do?
Body shaming.
I can't find his neck. Common problem.
Definitely body shaming.
No, I'm just saying because he's a fat. There's his little neck. And I don't know why I drew a tail like this. We're supposed to be cutesy. What is happening? Here we go. We're not even going to draw a real shape. We're just going to hint at a shape with fluffiness. There, that's it. That's the stuff. I've never drawn a face this stylized for an animal before. Like in this style of stylized, I guess. It reminds me of something. Not Chuck Jones. Who's the other? Is it Caltech? It's like a school of animation. I'm less familiar with that era of animation, and I started earlier. My focus was earlier. So that's a little later, like the 60s, and I really like that. So what does this face look like from the side? Let's just hmm. Oh, I don't know what disco sunglasses are. This part looks so dumb. Hmm?
Really round one. Just goes on that one.
Oh.
The really round ones, and then the ones that are like green or red.
Okay. Okay, I think the solution in this direction is just basically what a rabbit head looks like.
And then maybe they're not really right on his eyes. They're a little bit lower.
On this one, on the little one on the left. We'll get the tail. We'll have the front paw. That part. Oh yeah, his paws are like, they're both kind of together. I always call them paws. Is there like a different name for, are they legs? I feel like I've heard all sorts of stuff in my life. This one like didn't turn out really cutesy. All right. Giant cutesy anime eye. Your mileage may vary. And we'll do the glasses on the other guy. Yeah, sometimes if you're struggling and you're frustrated, just have fun with it. Because, I don't know, there was something about this that it was not sparking joy. And now, like, that's hilarious. Okay, let's be serious with these glasses. Let's use a slightly nicer well, slightly more appropriate pencil.
Yeah, they can be round or they can be like those really skinny rectangles.
Oh, they're done.
Oh. Yeah, that looks good.
I love on cartoons, man. If you watch cartoons, take a look at where people's glasses connect to their heads, because it so often is not above the ear. And you're like, well, what is holding that on? Cartoon magic, baby. That's pretty cute. Let's try to
Oh, and that's a good eye.
let's try to fix this little guy's mouth. That's pretty good. There's something with the eye. Oh, here. Will that help a little bit? Oh yeah, yeah. Little tiny eyebrow. Oh, some blush.
Yeah, I was gonna say nice big cheek.
No, no. I was thinking like handcuffs.
She's like a party girl who's like with a nerdy guy who has a crush on him. She's been giving him the time of day. So he's been like pushing himself to do more social things, but then like he's in over his head. He gets arrested. And he's like, don't worry about it.
Yeah. She's like, just call my ex-boyfriend.
My ex-boyfriend dad's always been.
Yeah. Like, bro, what?
His dad?
Which way do the ratchets ratchet? Okay. That's pretty good. You can almost tell what they are. I don't know what handcuffs look like, so I just made a guess based on how they work. Oh, you know what? I think this ratcheting part probably goes near where the key is, because otherwise, why would the key go there? It has to undo the ratcheting part. Okay, I thought it would look ridiculous if like the keyway was up on top, but I don't think it does. Not any more ridiculous than any other part of this situation for Priscilla.
That's Priscilla and Elvis.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like you thought Elvis was the bad boy. I actually have no, besides her name, I have no idea who Priscilla was. That's a failing on my part. And societies. So the prop for the big guys, these guys, was ephemeral circles, and I think like nailed it. And the prop for these guys was big glasses and handcuffs, which like I
They're also circles.
oh yeah, less ephemeral circles. I'm really happy we came around. Everyone came around to thinking this rabbit was cute because I was really struggling. All right. Have a great 23rd day of May. See you tomorrow for day 24. I think that's everything. Thanks. Bye-bye.